didn't see you there. Welcome to a breaking report about the HIV virus. Now about this virus, there are two different types of it. There is HIV-1 and HIV-2. Our scientists work day in, day out, so they're able to get these creative names. Now, let's talk about the atrocious mortality rate that is associated with it. Over 31% of people who end up contracting HIV end up dying as a result of it, or any sort of diseases that end up being amplified by the virus itself. And there's over 35.3 million people in the world that have the virus. It's a very appalling statistics. And we need to go to our correspondent in Niger to be able to take this over here. Scott, can you please tell us how it's going on over there?
My name is Scott Pajvagabla, and I'm reporting here from Africa. Some facts about HIV. HIV is a lentivirus, which means it's a slowly replicating retrovirus. You could be living with HIV for years and not know it. There are many modes of transmission that HIV can be transferred. Blood, semen, vaginal fluids, and breast milk, but not saliva. That's a myth. Now some facts about the origin of HIV. HIV-2, one species, comes from a strain of SIV, simian immunodeficiency virus, that is found on the Sudi mangabe, which is a monkey. HIV-1, the more violent form, comes from a strain of SIV found in the common chimpanzee. Now you might be asking, how can a monkey give me HIV? Well, it's through the process known as zoonosis. There are many theories specifically about how HIV was transferred from monkeys to humans. One theory is that the conspiracy theory, which means that the government created HIV to kill blacks and gays who have disproportionately high percentages of people who have it. But the more commonly accepted theory is the hunter theory, which is that people killed and ate monkeys who were infected or got their blood into their cuts or wounds.
Thanks, Scott, for that breaking report. Make sure you get home safe. You're in a pretty dangerous area. Now, let's go on to talk about the signs and symptoms of HIV. Within around 2 to 4 weeks of becoming initially infected with HIV, you'll have the worst flu you'll ever have in your entire life. It's probably because you have now HIV. Going even further, this is actually end up called acute retroviral syndrome. Now, also there's other types of syndromes that can go along with HIV, such as fever, swollen glands, sore throat, rash, fatigue, muscle and joint aches, and pains, headaches. And after the early stages of HIV infection, the disease moves into a stage called the clinical latency. During the clinical latency, people who are infected with HIV experience no HIV-related symptoms, or only mild ones. Now, during the clinical latency stage, the HIV virus reproduces at very low levels, although it is still active. AIDS, during this late stage of HIV infection, people infected with HIV may have the following symptoms: rapid weight loss, recurring fever or profuse night sweats, extreme and unexplained tiredness, prolonged swelling of the lymph glands in the armpits, groin, and neck, diarrhea that lasts more than a week, sores of the mouth, anus, or genitals, pneumonia, red, brown, pink, or purple splotches on or under the skin or inside the mouth, nose, or eyelids, memory loss, depression, and other neurologic disorders. Now, you're able to get diagnosed with HIV nowadays, and there's a couple ways you're able to do that. Testing for HIV with mouth swabs, urine, or blood samples would end up actually allowing you to know if you have HIV, and you obviously should get tested. Prognosis is dependent on what stage HIV and AIDS you have. See above for full details. Treatment and cure and care. No cure. If you take antiviral therapy, you may have lived the clinical latency for several decades because treatment helps keep the virus in check for people who are not on ART. This clinical latency stage lasts an average of 10 years, but some people may progress through this phase faster. Prevention. Vaccines are in testing. Do not share or use needles. Do not have sex, at least not unprotected sex. And if you are going to, make sure you know that they do not have HIV. Now, moving on to our next report. The bees are trying to sue us to take back their honey. What does Barry the Bee have to say for himself?